Looking for a way to get healthy? The Chef You and I program has the answer. Kathryn Raaker and chefs from around the nation will teach even the most inexperienced how to cook. Come into their kitchen and watch them take ordinary foods with loads of calories and fat and turn those foods into healthier dishes. You will be the first to get tips and ideas on foods that are easy to prepare. Now let's join Kathryn and today's chef and learn how to make today's recipes.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of The Chef You and I, and our guest today is Father Andrew Umberg, and he's a multitude of parishes, correct?
Yes, six parishes. So
Six parishes.
Try to say 'em now.
Yeah. So he was our pastor at St. Joseph, and we miss him, but we like Father Don too. He's your friend, right?
He is.
Yes, good.
Great guy.
So today we're going to do a couple of different things that are different. These are things that we like to make, right? So it's been a while since I made Cornish hen, but we're going to make two small birds, right? Because a lot of people, maybe they're single or whatever, they could actually have this single bird, right? Or single chicken, Cornish hen. And it's really nice to actually give that for a party or something. You could do something different with Cornish hen, right?
That's
so
right.
This is what we're going to do. So actually I have my wonderful duck fat spray, gourmet duck fat spray from Cornhuskers. So I'm going to spray it because I've already rinsed it and washed it, right? All that jazz. And I'm going to put this all over it, right? And you can use butter as well. But Father, I'm going to let you do the salt. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it because they want you to put
a little bit in the cavity.
Yeah, in the cavity. Here we go.
Okay, I think that's getting some in there real nice.
Yeah, I think so too. Now I'm going to put this bird on this right here. And because I don't have a rack for one of my pans, I decided to do that, right? So I'm going to actually show that. And I'm going to cut this one open now. And Father, you want to tell people what you're going to be doing on your part of the show?
Yes, we're going to make a couple of things, both involving pasta, but it won't be too much pasta, I hope. But I plan to make a smoked salmon cream sauce on rotini. I like rotini because it's all those little twirls. They hold the sauce and the smoked salmon real nice. Then we're going to do some broccolini with a little bit of olio aglio, that is olive oil and garlic. Maybe it's aglio e olio. I mean, garlic and oil. But anyway, it's both those things. And we'll toss that with a couple of pasta shells or some other kind of small pasta. We'll actually cook the broccolini in that and then add a little bit of cooked pasta to that, just to kind of give it a little bit of something.
Well, that sounds really exciting, Father, actually. So I'm going to bring this back over. We're going to do the same thing, but maybe what we should do is do the salt first. And then we've already preheated the oven to 350 degrees, right? A lot of salt in there.
Okay. We probably got a good quarter teaspoon in there.
That's right. That's right. And this is really simple to do, Father. Actually, I love this spray because it really gives it a good flavor. But you can also use some butter if you want to. We're going to put these little puppies in the oven now. And we're going to cook them at 350 degrees for an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, yeah. I forgot to do that. Can you do that, Father?
Oh, sure.
Salt and pepper on the outside,
so
Father.
We'll go right over here to the pan.
And
peppers and back over.
All right.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and salt these things.
And there's the pepper.
Yeah, that grease will make the duck fat will make it cling, whether it's, whatever oil you're doing, whether it's butter or duck fat.
Right.
Of course, that gets it all staying on a little bit better. And I tend to go a little bit heavy on the pepper.
Yeah, I know you'd like heavy on the pepper.
Okay, I think
that looks really nice.
Now.
So I'm going to spray the pan a little tiny bit. Watch it, Father.
There.
There we go. So we're going to put those in. Can you put them in and I'll open the door for you?
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, and they're going to go down there.
Okay.
350 degrees, and an hour from now. And do you need the timer for anything?
No, I don't.
You don't this time? Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn the timer on here for 1 hour. There we go. 16 minutes, 1 hour, Father. And we'll
I
have
think
it.
that'll be nice.
I think it will be too.
Yeah, you can always cook them more, but you can't uncook them, as you know.
That's right. That's right. So it'll be nice with the salad. You could do it for brunch or whatever, which would be really awesome. So what's the first thing you're going to do?
I think I should start with the salmon, the smoked salmon cream sauce.
Okay.
For the pasta. Maybe I should start up the pastas first, though.
Okay, so guess what? We need to take a short break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I with our guest chef, Father Andrew Umberg, and we're going ahead with what recipe, Father?
Well, we're going to do two things here. These two things that I'm using pasta for. Again, these wouldn't all be at the same meal, right? Because
That's
you're
right.
also doing a pasta one.
We're doing
wanna do
our
that.
favorite pastas.
And so one will be the smoked salmon cream pasta, the smoked salmon cream pasta sauce. I'm saying that wrong somehow. Pasta with smoked salmon cream sauce. There, I've said it correctly.
Want
now.
to say it in Italy? In Italian?
In Italian. I'm not sure exactly how they would say that in Italian.
You don't?
But anyway,
Yeah?
so
Oh, well.
I know each of the words, but that doesn't mean that they probably have a special word for it.
Okay.
So we have pasta water boiling, but also we intend to make these broccolini and put some pasta in with those. In fact, orecchiette, which means these pastas, they look like a cereal that they used to have when I was growing up. Maybe it's still there. Quisp cereal. But anyway, they look like little ears, and that's what orecchiette means, okay?
Little ears? Okay.
Little ears, yeah. When they're boiled, they kind of, look like this part of your ear, okay?
Okay.
So anyway, so we're going to put those in with the broccolini, just as a little bit, along with the olive and the olive oil and the garlic. So anyway, I need some onions, though, for the smoked salmon cream sauce. Okay, I don't put any garlic in that, you'll be happy to know. So this sauce is basically going to be, onion, olive oil, some smoked salmon, and then we'll add just a can of grocery store can of tomato sauce, or some part of that, and then some, actually we'll add half and half first, and then we'll add some tomato sauce at the end to make it a kind of a nice pink or kind of an orange color at the end of it all. It looks like alla vodka sauce. That's one of the cream sauces of Italy, but I'm not putting any vodka in it.
Do you know that new pizzeria that we were talking about makes vodka sauce for their pizza?
Oh, that would be nice, I think. I like
Yeah, you like
vodka
that?
sauce. I do.
Oh, okay.
Although I can't taste the vodka in it, which is a good thing because I don't know if I like the flavor of vodka that much. But it's nice that for some reason they put that in there, one of those cream sauces, and it somehow does something for the sauce. I'm not sure what. I don't know how much of
It
its
makes
flavor.
it really nice flavor. It's like limoncello when you add, you can't make limoncello without vodka.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
Okay.
true.
And your water's boiling, so what do you want to
Okay. So I just want to put a little bit of the orecchiette in.
do? Okay.
And let's see. Can you see how long the rotini has to cook?
Okay.
So I can because this only has to go 9 minutes. And we're going to go with a 3-color rotini for our smoked salmon smoked salmon cream sauce pasta. And then we're going to go with the orecchiette for the broccolini. That is the
Okay,
young
where
broccoli.
does it say that on here, kid?
There we go. It's about
8 minutes?
So good. So it's about the same amount.
Of time.
I always look at what the pasta, what they say to cook it at, and then I always decrease because somehow the pasta always seems to cook afterwards. Looks like we've got this nicely taped back together here.
I love doing
So
that.
I get, okay,
Keeping it fresh, Father.
there you go. Hey, that's your. Okay, I'm just not very good at opening it. I'll leave that to you while I dump this whole pot. We're going to do a big bunch of this smoked salmon pasta, which will leave me and our producer with no choice but to eat a lot of this over the next couple of days.
Yeah, right. I need to get in here,
Yeah.
Father. Hold on a minute.
We'll endure it, though. We're
right,
brave
I'm going to
people.
do this real quick.
So I've got water and salt in there, and I put this in, and I want to go about 8 minutes for this. It says 9 minutes for it to be tender, 8 minutes for firm. Actually, I'm going to go more like 7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes.
Good deal.
So here you go. Here's this.
Thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
then we'll put in the orecchiette.
Do you need any salt?
I
Father?
put a little bit in. Thank you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for this, I'm going to put in about, here's a nice handy cup.
You're going to measure it?
I'm going to measure it just to, so I'm really giving a nice accurate thing. We'll say 2/3 of a cup of this pasta. Again, it's how much pasta you want in your vegetables. You know, having the pasta in there makes it so you have another thing holding the sauce, and it's kind of nice, and the cheese, and it gives that little bit sweet flavor to it. The pasta does. So, so if you want more of it, put more in it. If you want less, put less in.
Right.
Now
So you're done with that?
Yes, I'm done with that
Okay,
already.
thank you.
And,
I'll take
okay,
it.
I'll let you,
Thank
let
you.
you get rid of that, and we can make that go bye-bye. Okay, so back to chopping here. I think I would like to stir a little bit
Right.
the pasta just to make sure everything's
And we're
moving
using
around.
our 360 pans, which we love. And they really cook very evenly. You don't have to use them at a high temperature, which Father doesn't have it on a high temperature. Correct?
I don't. Well, here, let's see.
Turn it a lot down. That's
I
fine.
had a little bit too high there. Yes,
Yeah,
you're correct.
that's fine. Okay, Father, you're chopping up the onions. That's one whole onion, medium onion, or
One
large
medium onion, and these happen to be sweet. I think you can use sweet or just regular cooking onions. I usually at home, I always buy the stronger stuff. I'm a strong flavor person, so I never buy sweet onions. Of course, maybe I'm getting to the age where I should switch to sweet onions or something like that. Maybe it'd be healthier for me to do that. Easier on my digestive system.
Vidalia, you mean? We love
Yeah,
Vidalia
yeah.
onions. They're really good.
Well, very nice. But who knows? I don't
That's
know.
good.
Right now, everything still digests fine, but maybe.
Yeah, I had the
61.
opportunity, Father, to come to your mom's place at Christmas time, right?
Yes.
And I got to eat some of the things she made and you made, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
And it was a lot of fun. And she's really sweet.
She is. She is.
Did she get
I
into?
take after my dad.
And I did meet your dad.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that you do, sometimes you do traveling with your mom too. Isn't that fun?
Yes. Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, I love my mommy. What can I say? She's a great mom. And there you go.
Okay.
And she is really sweet, though.
Yeah, she is. She is. And you're in the middle, aren't you? Of 6 kids or 7?
7.
Guess what? I've got something for you, Father, and I gave you one. Do you remember what I gave you?
It's a scraper?
Well, it's actually a scooper. Hold on.
Okay. I would call it a scraper.
You have to,
It's a
there,
scraper and a
back
scooper.
it.
Yes,
There you
look
go.
at that. Look
at that.
Boom. Look at me go here. Oh, look at this. So
Now,
we'll
what's
start-
going to happen with these onions?
We're going to put them in olive oil, hot olive oil,
Right.
and we'll saute them a little bit. Not really brown them. I guess you could say we're going to sweat them some. Get them nice and tender.
Right.
And then we're going to turn off the oil and then I'm going to throw in smoked salmon. And our producer bought enough smoked salmon to make a very large portion of this.
That's
In fact, I
right.
could have all my siblings and their spouses over. With this
Well,
much.
he didn't
However,
know.
here's-
Rob, the thing he didn't know is how big you wanted it.
Well, and that gives us no choice but to have this on crackers separate for whether
That could be an appetizer, you know?
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh, I think it will be.
Okay.
Although I love appetizers, but I really don't understand why anyone needs an appetizer. When I show
You
up,
can
I'm
just
ready
eat
to
the salmon. I don't
Okay,
care.
there you go.
So
Okay.
here's the pan that you're going to use. Am I correct?
Sure, we can use that one. Yes.
And I think we need to stir that one at all.
I gave it a little stir before, but these
Okay.
are
Are we?
very nice.
Do you know how many minutes we're doing that?
We're going about another 3 minutes, and then I was going to use this pan for our smoked salmon sauce.
Okay.
So what we could do now is go ahead and put some olive oil in this one. Mm-hmm. And you know how careful I am about measuring.
Yeah, that's a. It's kind of a joke between the two of us. And then when I go to do the measuring,
Yeah,
you're gonna
see.
measure it. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
That's very important. But if you're a tablespoon short, it's going to ruin everything, everybody. I'm kidding, of course.
How much oil are you using?
That's probably more than we really need.
No, just tell me how much that is.
This is a half cup, but I think we only want a quarter cup.
Really? Yeah, that's a lot, Father.
Yeah, so we want it. Okay, so for this, we'll have a quarter cup of olive oil,
Yeah.
and that should be enough.
Do you want me to turn it on, Father?
You can go ahead and do that, yes. And then I'm going to put in some garlic. We're going to do it in the form of garlic powder. Normally I would mince up some garlic, okay?
Thanks to our friend that comes over all the time, Marion. She
saved
provided
the day,
it.
so we
She
have some.
saved the day. Because as you know, I'm allergic to garlic, and I didn't have any on hand. And how
now
much is that?
I'm putting in.
Let's measure it.
Is that a good measuring thing?
Yes, that's a measuring. Okay, so that's probably a half a teaspoon.
I'd say it's closer to a whole teaspoon, but
Not a teaspoon. That's a teaspoon, Father.
okay. A teaspoon of garlic powder in the oil.
That's
okay.
Okay, we're good.
And I don't want to lose track of our time here
Okay.
because our pasta, I would say, is about done for our smoked salmon pasta. See how this is very al dente? It's very rubbery right now. Okay? You have this very rubbery look to it. It's expanded, but you can tell, just looking at it, you can tell it's still a little bit tough. And so I'm going to let it go about another minute, but not more than that. The orecchiette are also, I didn't get them boiling as much, but they'll be fine too, because, again, I like a little bit of toughness to the pasta. Al dente, that is, to the tooth. Okay? Chewy. That's the word we're looking for, I guess.
Chewy pasta.
Chewy pasta. Al dente pasta means chewy pasta.
That's good.
Okay. And I'll need a colander next then, and we'll go ahead and drain this pasta. Thank you.
Just happen to have one.
And I'll do this over here if that's okay.
Do you want to use the gloves, Father?
That would be wise, I think.
Right there,
okay,
Father.
Thank you.
No? Oh, I forgot. I put him over here, Father. Here you go.
And here's the thing is, I'll use them in a kind of little bit of a lazy way. Okay, so this is the front. I will turn this off for a moment. And here we go. So if that pasta was a little bit chewy still before.
It's still
it should be
chewy
very
now,
chewy
right?
now, yes. Oh, yeah, it's still chewy.
So, you know, the funny thing is, do you want me to cut open the salmon yet or not?
Yes, feel welcome to cut open the salmon.
Thank you very much. Right. Oh, wow, Father. This is unreal.
And then it's...
This is beautiful. If I liked
yeah.
it, it would be great, right?
Yes.
But I'm not a lover of smoked salmon. I like real salmon.
Well, real salmon that's not been smoked. There we
Not
go.
smoked.
Yes.
So here you go.
Oh, how beautiful.
That is gorgeous. You know, hold on.
And we'll only cut up some of it, though, because
I
the
know.
rest we'll keep for
All right.
crackers.
Well, that's not a
Ooh,
lot,
so
is
I'd
it?
say about, for the amount we're making, a third of this will be plenty. Yeah, because that smoked salmon flavor is a very strong
flavor, right?
And it really does a lot there.
Right.
for
I
the
need
oil.
something like a spatula or something to get it up, Father.
Okay. Would you like to
Yeah,
use
that would actually work.
It's wonderful. I'll let you do that then. And yeah, again, you don't want to put this on every cutting board in the house.
We're going to put
it
this.
on here?
We're,
Okay,
yeah, we're
right
going
here,
to.
okay,
You know
fine.
what we're going to do? We're going to put it in the dishwasher. That. Okay.
Okay.
Now you what?
Excellent then. And I'll go ahead and use this nice sharp knife. However, I don't want to. Can we have the bowl that the smoked salmon pasta will go in eventually?
Oh,
If I can have
okay.
a large bowl, because then I'll put that pasta in and then take our orecchiette out.
Here we go, Father.
Thank you so much.
You're
and then
welcome.
I'll just do this. And then we'll have this
Wow,
out of the
that's
way.
beautiful.
Very nice. Yes, very nice stuff. I'll get rid of a couple little corners there so that, yeah, those several colors are very nice. And then for the orecchietti,
This is getting pretty hot, Father.
It is getting pretty hot. And let's turn this down a lot and let's start to get some baby broccoli here. Or broccolini, as we like to say.
Let me move this, Father. You want me to put this in the refrigerator until afterwards?
Sure. We have got plenty here. Yes, thank you. You got plenty for the dish here. Excellent. Okay, and then for this.
Okay.
We like some stems on it, but not this much, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm going to cut off these things. And again, different people would have different ideas of how wasteful we want to be with regard to this. But I want to just cut off the ends here, okay?
Yeah, that's good. You want me to? I could have done that for you.
Then why don't
I do it, and then you do the onion thing.
Okay, and then I'm going to start throwing in this into the dish here. I'm going to add a little bit more garlic because I feel like the other garlic might have gotten a little bit browner than I want it to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this on in. Wow, okay.
That is hot.
Going to remove from heat a little bit here. And then if I can have a bunch more, real quick on the broccolini there, thank you, to cool down this oil some. Okay.
Here you go.
Nice.
Here you go. I think that's about it. Right? You didn't use all of it. Do you want to use all of it?
Yeah, use all of it. I think we should.
All right. Great. Okay, hold on.
Have this then. Nice. Okay.
Here's some right here.
Okay.
Right.
And here's the thing is I don't want to forget about my orecchietti.
Yeah, you don't want to forget that.
So in they go.
Right. And right.
And guess what?
What?
Believe it or not, we're going to need a little bit more oil.
Okay, really? Where is it?
Okay.
Here. It's right here.
Okay, if you go ahead and just pour 2/3 of that in.
All of
Okay,
it?
so it's, no.
No, that's it.
That's enough, yeah.
That's enough.
Okay, so now we have in here a 1/4 cup. Now we have a 1/3 cup of oil. We had to add a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah, broccolini is absolutely delicious.
Actually, you know what? We're going to go with the whole 1/2 cup.
The whole.
I'm sorry, yeah, because we need it, because this garlic mixture has to also be on here, okay? On the pasta. Okay. So I want to turn this back up a little bit more.
And it's really, absolutely, really, broccolini is really healthy for you, Father, as well. So doesn't he have a lot of calories in it? And it's really fresh and it's really good. It's hard to find sometimes, actually. I have to really look for it in some of the stores. But I always find it because I love it. And especially with any kind of pasta. And actually a friend of mine from Italy actually is the one that taught me how to do it. How about that?
Very nice, very nice.
Nice,
and,
right? We're done.
And so now, if I can have the salt, please, I'm going to salt the broccolini some. And I've got maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, not too much. I don't want to overdo it.
Now, what are you doing with that now?
Now, the last thing I'm going to do, and again, we maybe should have cut these broccolis a little bit smaller, but again, nothing,
right.
It's all going to be wonderful.
It'll look really pretty, actually.
It'll look pretty and it'll taste delicious. And here we go. In goes the orecchietti. So these little pasta are in here now. And we'll see how the broccoli has turned a wonderful bright green.
That's gorgeous, Father.
And I'm sure it will be delicious. Okay, I'm going to just leave it here just a tiny bit. I think I want to put a little bit more salt. We don't even have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here yet. And so I'm going to just go a little bit more. Now we'll also put some Parmesan Romano cheese, or at least Parmesan cheese on it.
And it's right behind you, Father.
Okay. But I think we'll do that as we serve it, you know. If you want to get a serving bowl for this, then I think we're ready to go. And meanwhile,
we need to take a short break, Father, in just a
okay.
second.
Excellent.
And then we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back on The Chef You and I with Kathryn Raaker and Father Andrew Umberg. We'll be right back. We're back on The Chef You and I, and Father is making the cream sauce for what, Father?
For these tricolor, rotini pasta,
Right.
okay?
And you're going to put what in it?
Well, we're going to start with about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. And I'm using the same pan I use for the pasta because why dirty every pot and pan in the place, right? When we
That's
can
right,
just go
Father.
like that.
That's right.
And then I'm going to use that wonderful scraper or scooper that you gave me.
That's scooper. Here you go.
Okay, and I'm going to put, this is a
Why don't we
medium
do
onion,
it
but
this?
I think I want about,
That's hot. That's hot. I'm not touching it.
there you go, that's wise. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this back on, in fact.
Okay.
And I want it on about medium heat. Here, I'll get that oil nice and hot. I can throw in the onion first. I'd say we have about a cup of onion here, cup of chopped onion. And in it goes, into the oil. And I think that might be enough, but since we chopped so much, and we'll go ahead and just throw some more. I've never said, oh, there's too much onion in this. You know?
I agree.
And
I can
anything
eat
I've ever
onion,
eaten.
Father.
Okay.
Good.
But this will be leftover onion,
Okay.
if you want that for anything.
Yeah.
A soup or whatever. I often take little baggies, you know, and put stuff when I've chopped a little bit too much. Once I
Yeah.
see, because unfortunately, it'd be nice if the onions were marked. This will make 1 cup of onion or whatever, but they don't. Oh well.
Right, so-
That's coming next year. That's next year's
Okay,
GMOs.
now- okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to take this knife, and I'm going to start cutting this smoked. And again, there'll be a little bit of broccolini, which might be tacky, but okay.
Yeah, but all goes in the one stomach, doesn't
As
it?
it does. Unless the kids are allergic to broccolini, which they might claim to be. You know, Mom, I'm allergic to vegetables.
Yeah, I love when presidents would say, I hate broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
So all those growers would go, why did he say that?
Exactly.
Yeah, right? And broccoli's really good.
Well, if you like it, and I do.
But you
never
did,
have. If
did
you
you
had
ever
my-
not like it?
Oh, I hated it as a kid.
You hated it.
Yeah, see, I'm strong language, I know. And it was strong language. I hated it. I hated broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. I hated all 3 of them
Why?
because I thought they tasted awful.
Okay.
It partially was the way that they were customarily cooked at the time. And that is taking frozen vegetables, putting them in some water that would turn green, and then boiling them
To death.
to death. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite gross, really. And so I dreamed, I was a smart little kid. What happened, I know. I lost all the smarts as I grew older. But the thing is, when I heard that there were certain blights, like the elm tree was dying, I'm like, what? There are diseases that plants can get? I thought, what if all the broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower had a blight?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I could be involved in developing it and make it so that way I never have this disgusting stuff on the table again.
You know you
But
could do
since,
comedy. You know you could
Well,
do
thank you,
comedy
thank you,
really
yeah.
good. Oh, well.
Okay, so I'm getting this small. I hear that the onions are sizzling away behind me as we speak. Can you cut that a little bit finer? Again,
Yes, I
there's no
can.
exact amount. You just don't want it too big, that's all. I think we're going to have a lot of stringiness. That's a tricky thing, is trying to get it all separated. But okay, so we're sweating the onions here. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, so we definitely want these onions. Oh, I got a little bit of a
What?
orecchietta in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
whatever.
so and you know what I'm going to do now is I'm going to
No,
salt
I
these
don't
onions.
know what you're going to do. What are you going to do?
If you could pass me that salt, I'm going to salt the onions a little bit. So then we're going to have salty, oniony olive oil here.
Salty onion olive oil. That's weird.
And we're putting in, again, because we have this grinder here, I'm putting in less than a 1/4 teaspoon, even though it seems like a lot, it's really not too much here.
You want to show the camera that? That's
Sure,
look.
we're sweating them real nice here. You don't want them brown. That's not what we're trying to do. We don't want them brown. Let's see if this is hot. It's not too bad. There we go. See, they're almost done then. We want them tender. Some of them are not quite tender yet. So back on the stove they go.
So you're actually sautéing the onions.
Sautéing them, but I've heard some people say sautéing involves getting them a little bit browned, and I just want to sweat them.
I never do that. I just let them sweat brown.
There you go.
Sweat.
Well, here we go. So then, this is getting pretty nice now. Oh, that might be
That's my timer right
to
there.
check on the chicken. Should we check on the chickens
Yes,
right
I think
now
we
and
should
to
check
see-
on the chicken.
if we
But
think
you've
we
got
need a
to
little
do
bit
this,
more?
Father.
Well, I think maybe
I
we
think
can just
Juan
look.
and I should do it.
Okay, wow, that's wonderful. Okay.
They look like they're pretty done, Father, but I'm going to stick a
I just want to see if
thermometer
I
in
can
them.
see. Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. Rather than guess, folks, it's a good thing. I'm saying that that juice still looks slightly red on the inside of them.
They have to be 180, Father.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, they haven't got there yet. They're 154. Says
Okay.
165 right now.
See, okay, yeah. So another 15 minutes at least, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. You want me to do this one too?
That wouldn't hurt. Meanwhile, I'll turn off this stuff because I think this has been sweating long enough. I'm going to stir them a little bit to make sure we have a nice even.
Same
you
thing.
want this nice and you might even want to mince the onion or food process it. I don't mind little chunks of onion along with the chunks of salmon, you know, so
Yeah.
that's the way I like to do it. But okay, and so I will now take this wonderful smoked salmon.
Okay.
And wow, this is a generous portion. You don't have to use quite this much because this is a rather expensive item.
Why don't we do
But, it
this?
certainly won't hurt the flavor to have more of it, okay?
Can we put this in there? Yeah.
Yes, you sure can.
There's
And
a
then
you don't
in
want to
goes
waste
this.
it though.
Exactly, exactly.
There.
And I'll use this then, and I'll simply
Get rid of it.
carefully go like this.
Right.
I always move slowly with a knife when someone's close to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then knife safety is a very important thing
Extremely
for yourself
important.
and the people around you. And there's
I've
two
seen
different
and I've
aspects.
seen people cut themselves easily.
And it's easy to cut another person if you're not very careful.
Right.
You know, when a knife is around, it's a very dangerous thing. So
I have
when you
another
hold
one
it,
for
kinda
you,
hold it down
Father.
like this,
I have
okay?
another one for you that's
Another
clean.
scraper. Okay, look at that. Okay. So I think this one will retire for a moment.
Yeah, and here's this.
Okay, good deal. We'll retire that as well. Okay, now meanwhile, this has been sitting here in the oil. I'm going to stir it around. So I don't want to overly cook it, you know. The main thing is to make sure, see, it turns pink very quickly,
Oh wow.
and we're not trying to cook it.
You're
And
just
then
trying
there's
to
this wonderful, in my opinion, I don't know if you're not a fan of smoked salmon, I am,
I like
but there's a
salmon.
wonderful, wonderful smell. See how it turned a brighter color pink? You can still see some of the other stuff that's the other color. And it's eventually going to cook a little bit more. But, you know, smoked salmon is ready to eat. You know, you don't have to cook it. It becomes cooked enough.
So now what are you going to put the
I'm gonna
cream
put
in
this
there?
on, yes, and the next thing I do is will be the half and half. But first, I need to stir this around a little bit more to make sure our oil is nice and filled with that flavor. See, and that third of a cup is almost completely absorbed by these items, okay? The onions and the salmon, okay? So we've got some half and half. And again, it ruins everything if you don't put the right amount. I'm just kidding.
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, so look at me using the same thing I use the olive oil in. Put the olive oil in. I'm going to do one more stir of this thing. Make sure everything's happy there, okay? And then I'm going to take a whole cup of half and half and dump it in. And then I'm doing another cup of half and half and putting it in like that.
Wow.
Okay, and that should be a nice amount there. Now I'm going to go ahead and stir it around some. We don't want to cook this real hot here, and
You could turn the heat down just a
I'm going
little.
to turn it down a little bit. Just a little bit, okay. Oh, I've got it way high, so I'm going to turn it down a lot, actually. Okay, and then I'm just taking some nice grocery store tomato sauce. Happens to be organic. But a can of this that has one of these nice pull tabs. So watch me do this nice and fast.
Here, I'll put it away, Father.
And then I will pour this tomato sauce in. I'm going to pour, okay, so you saw I put 2 cups of half and half. I'm saying I need just about a half of this 15-ounce can, okay?
Okay.
I will a little bit more than a half because, as you know, I'm not real scrupulous with the measurements. You want to be pretty close with them.
Yeah,
But then
that
now
looks
look at this
really
now.
good.
It's turning a nice, pretty pink color. Look at that.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
really pretty.
And it's not the salmon turning it the color. It's the half and half along with the tomato sauce. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's real nice. And again, we could put in more tomato sauce. It wouldn't hurt the thing. You know, there's just a scale of how creamy you want your cream sauce, how tomatoey you want your tomato cream sauce. You know.
Okay.
Different ideas. In fact, some people would use less than what I use, but use heavy cream. I figure half and half is maybe a little bit better. We get a thumbs up from the producer
Right,
on that.
I think
on
so.
the heavy cream. But I think this is satisfactory without
Wow.
being outrageously unhealthy, you know?
Right.
We want to keep it reasonable.
Because
right?
we're a
Now-
healthy cooking show.
Exactly. We're on a healthy cooking show, and there we go. Okay, so we have this now nice and hot. I'm going to make sure it really gets hot here. Let's see, a spoon rest I probably should have used. Okay, so we're going to watch this a little bit, and then I'm going to just pour in. As soon as I see some bubbles, kind of indicating that it's getting
I'll watch
really
it for
hot.
you. I'll watch it for
Okay,
you.
and then
Okay.
meanwhile, we got to be thinking about, well, wait, we've got our orecchietti done. With
Yes.
let's show this again. I mean, I think this is just
I'm
worth
going
showing
to
again.
put that in a nice bowl, Father.
Okay, and as you know, I sampled it a little bit and approved completely. Okay, and then I'm doing a little swirl here.
It looks like it's starting to boil, Father. Am I right?
Is it? Yes, it's nice and hot now. Okay, so then with this, what I like to do with pasta dishes, rather than trying to pour sauce over a pasta, I always like pouring the pasta into the sauce.
I need this.
Then I can know that I'm going to get nice finished pasta. Okay, and so I put that whole box of rotini in, and it turns out the cup of half and half, the cup of onion, and a little bit more than a half can of sauce was a lovely amount. It'll make it so that, you know, right now it's doing the backstroke a little bit here, okay? But that's okay because the pasta, I always make al dente enough that I know that the pasta will cook a little bit more in the hot sauce, even once you put it in the
But
bowl.
I'm going to put it in a
It'll be just wonderful, okay? So this is steaming hot. You don't want to stir it too much, especially if the pasta has been cooked a lot, because then you'll beat up the pasta and you'll have all these little fragments of pasta. You really don't want that. I think this will be lovely. Now, I'll serve this with Parmesan cheese or Parmesan Romano cheese. However, in Italy, they would say, hey, you've got enough flavor in there with the onions and the salmon. Don't go adding the Parmesan. Now, I'll do that with each serving. I'll never put it in the pot. Otherwise, you have all kinds of, cheese sticking to your pot and your spoon and everything else. And, even the best pots, which these are quite nice, you don't want to have that going on.
Father, we're going to take a short break. Want to turn around a minute?
Okay.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Father Andrew Allenberg and myself, Kathryn Raaker. We'll be right back, and we'll show you how we're going to serve it.
Great.
Right? We're back on the Chef You and I, and this is the part, Father Andrew Allenberg, that I love the most. He's my guest chef tonight, and he made his wonderful, what kind of pasta, Father?
Well, this is rotini, tricolor rotini with a smoked salmon cream sauce.
And
These are orecchiette with olive oil and garlic and broccolini. Or we could say broccolini with orecchiette.
that's right,
Yeah, I think there's probably about equal amounts though.
for sure. And what I did was I baked 2 Cornish hens, and actually, a lot of people don't know how to do it. It was pretty simple, wasn't it? It was about an hour and 20 minutes, actually. And I bought this for dessert. Key lime pie. Now, what a wonderful dessert. You don't have to have a lot of it, but you have a lot of salmon left, so you're going to use it for hors d'oeuvres, right?
Exactly.
Later. And so this is something been very simple. Can you tell us how easy it was to make that? Can you tell us what was in it?
It is very easy. There's about a cup of olive oil, and then about a cup of chopped or minced onion, and then about I'm going to say 6 ounces of chopped smoked salmon, and
about 2 cups.
2 cups of half and half, and a little bit more than a half of a 15-ounce can of just canned grocery store tomato sauce.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then
everything.
let's talk about how that was made.
Okay, that had about a third of a cup of olive oil, and then I think I went a
Broccolini?
little bit more than that. That's right. That has more like a half cup of olive oil. Then it has some garlic powder, or you can use minced garlic. If you use minced garlic, I'd say put about 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon in. Since it was garlic powder, we went about a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half. And then after putting the olive oil in and heating it and adding the garlic, then we put in the broccolini and just stir-fried it around a little bit. And then we took our orecchiette that were already cooked.
Right.
And we stirred those in.
And those look like what? When you were a little kid, what did they look like? A half of an ear?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
what the Italians got.
Really? That's what it means?
Orecchiette means little ears.
Little ears. That's cute.
This
I
is
really
an
like that.
orecchio, and an orecchietto would be.
Yeah, right. So anyhow, this would be a wonderful, wonderful, and you could add a salad to this if you wanted to.
You could.
And so before the show, using our new person that sponsors our show with wonderful Wagyu beef is a Hassel Cattle Company. And I made, what do you think?
I'm going to guess oxtail soup.
I made oxtail soup, and I didn't have enough oxtail, so I used another one of their sirloin steaks. I fried it up a little bit, chopped it up, and put it into the beautiful oxtail soup. I added some corn and some peas and carrots and lovely broth to it. And it turned out to be pretty wonderful, didn't it?
As you know, I had a big portion. In the interest of science, I had a big bowl of it at the same time.
And I did too. I loved it. And so we want to thank our sponsors, Father, and you, definitely, for your service.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And actually, we want to thank our wonderful gourmet duck fat spray by Cornhuskers. And pretty soon, we're going to have the new vinaigrette that's in a spray bottle, too. Nobody else has this. And then we want to thank our wonderful company, 360 Pans, Americraft, and also Hassel Cattle Company. And they have been really generous, and they're very generous in the sense of working with nonprofits as well, and which I love. So I want to thank them very much, and I want to thank our wonderful producer and our other friend, Marion Merton, who always comes, and she's always a delight, and she takes wonderful pictures. And we want to thank all of you for joining us. And we're on everything from YouTube now, Father. Absolutely.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? To all of our other Spectrum, Comcast, you name it. So thank you very much for joining us today, and bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Thanks for joining us on the Chef You and I Show today. We'll be back next week with another great and healthy recipe. Don't forget to visit our website, thechefyouandi.com, for all of our featured recipes, cooking tips, and clips of the show.